I'm the king of the game and I won't be swayed. But there's something I need, something to push me higher. Talk show Chris Collins and HenricK, they're on fire. They're watching all the rage quitters, exposing them with pain. They keep their gaming real, that's why they get all my respect from me. Rage quit, Chris and HenricK, don't you ever stop. You're the voice of the gamers, bling rage quitters on the spot. With your wit and laughter, you're the champions we need. Rage quit, Chris and HenricK, you're the heroes of the gaming breed. Turn around the video game mayhem. Chris Collins and HenricK, the rat bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal brawl. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content, better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate gamer getaway. The ultimate. Rave over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry they can't escape. We're reviewing video games, no need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scales, they expose it all, making sure no one jails. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quit, rage quit. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quit, rage quit. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back, ain't nothing else to compare. Rage quit, it's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know me, Chris. As always, I'm here. I'm doing fantastic.
Come on,
How
that's
about
the
yourself?
energy I need from you because there is a lot going on in the video game world, and this is why we like doing this weekly, right? Because without your
Mm-hmm.
support gamers, this show would not be possible. Whether you're streaming us on Meta, whether it's Twitch or YouTube, we can't thank you all for the support. And before we even begin, I think it's really important that we highlight to all the cool cats out there. If you haven't scanned the QR code, this will lead you directly to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
And you see that QR code right down there? That goes to my YouTube channel. So don't miss out what's there by going there, hitting that bell icon. You know the drill. Come on.
Come on now, let's get it. And we always like to start off the show with the bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Bungie just told cheaters that Marathon isn't a courtroom, it's a trap door. And what do we mean by this? Well, Marathon has stated that if you get caught running these shady software or exploiting the game mechanics, well, you're not benched, you're not banished. Well, actually, you are banished. No appeals, no dramatic redemption arc, just a digital vaporization that would honestly make a sci-fi airlock proud. Right, HenricK? I mean, this is a lifetime ban stamped the moment you tamper with the rules. And are you vibing with this? Is this the kind of clean cut with 0-second chances that we all need when it comes to these kind of twitchy style multiplayer games?
I mean, you've been a very naughty person if you think you can get away with that sort of thing without any repercussions. This ain't Call of Duty, all right?
Yeah, right, exactly. And so, gamers, does that kind of iron wall protect the playground or just dare the most elite cheat coders to treat Bungie's servers like a high-stakes hacking tournament? And let's go ahead and hear from the developers themselves.
The world of Tau Ceti is a dangerous place. You should either be dying because Tau Ceti and other players got you, or that you make a bad decision.
You want to know that it's a level playing field. All of the information that you're getting needs to be precise and accurate.
These are the things we have to get right if we're going to make a game in this genre. Like, it's non-negotiable.
Hey, you know what? They might say this. We'll have to see what it actually looks like when the game comes out, but it is promising that they do want to make sure the game has some integrity in terms of the competitive nature. So I appreciate that.
I think they're saying the quiet part out loud, HenricK, when they're saying, hey, you know, we're not going to be able to survive if we don't nail this genre right when it comes to the extraction shooter. What I think they're actually saying is, if we don't get Marathon done on day one in the first month, Bungie's getting closed down. It's not going to last.
That's a good point.
And so,
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what's going to – you can see their faces look kind of scared in that video clip. I'm not going to lie. But that's what didn't stop comments from circulating all across the World Wide Web with the first meme that says, the cheaters after hearing this. And yeah, do you feel like they're going to be scorched from the earth as Marathon developers are claiming they will not hesitate to permagon you?
Well, Marathon. I'm sure that there will be some people that slip past the filters at least for a little while, but depending on how aggressive the development team gets in terms of fighting the cheaters, they might be scorched like that.
Yeah, well, what do you think about the comment when they say exploiting game mechanics? Because, like, I know Arc Raiders had certain people doing certain stuff with their snap hooks and making people fly all across the map.
Going into rooms that they're not supposed to have unlocked yet.
Right, or duplicating material, so then you have, multiple goopy goop, as, the burnt peanut would say. And then all of a sudden people got a notice from Embark saying, hey, listen, look, like, we're going to punish you. They didn't get permagon. They had another chance. And so, is it a bit too aggressive, gamers? Think about it. But we'll keep these comments rolling because the next one reads, does no second chances mean a full hardware or IP ban? Something that absolutely plagues Destiny is how many cheaters just instantly hop into the new accounts after a ban. And how would you fix this, HenricK? I feel like this is a great question for you.
Well, actually, the benefit that Marathon is going to have over Destiny 2 is that in Destiny 2, it's a free-to-play game. Or at least free to try more so because, a lot of the content is locked behind paid walls. But Marathon is not a free-to-play game. It's going to be I believe $40 at launch.
$40. Yep.
So, yeah, at that point, if you're gonna cheat and you get banned, if it's not an IP ban, it's just hardware bans. You could technically spoof that. Technically, you'd spoof your IP even, but
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be $40 out of your pocket that you're gonna be.
Well, even like
giving
we
to the
discussed last week
developers.
with all the praise bombing that was happening. All of a sudden, people would buy a game, they would write an artificial comment, and then they would get a refund back, and they're like, "Wait, what the hell are we doing at Sea Sparkle Lab? Like, why are you guys praising us? We need to make a good game. We need some awesome feedback, not this kind of praising going on." But then you get this last comment that reads, "They should have them do the Fortnite treatment and publicly humiliate them too." Honestly, I think that's great, but the only difference between the Fortnite compared to someone that's just having fun and trying to, hack into just non-ranked games, for example, those are people being punished for going into tournaments with money on the line, right, Henry?
That's true. Yeah.
So that's why, Epic Games really needs to keep the integrity of the esports world within, Fortnite universe. But, then again, you guys, what is it going to take? Do we need something more? Maybe there's an answer. We'll discuss more later in the show, right, HenricK? I know, right?
Yeah.
Shame. Hey, but let's keep things rolling because HenricK is trending because he just spun the clock back and dropped a fresh trick shot montage in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And HenricK, when's the last time you even popped in that disc or even played it on your PC?
Actually, a couple years ago, I did play through the campaign because I was like, I wanna see what it's all about again.
Yeah.
And actually, that story does hold up pretty well, I will say.
I was so disappointed
But
at the time when.
No, I didn't touch that.
Well, remember when they re-brought it back and then they only had campaign mode and no multiplayer? Like, what were they thinking? But basically, HenricK is teleporting back to the golden era like it's still 2009 and lobbies are pure chaos. And so, you're going to do whatever it takes for the average gamer. Usually it would take us like 3 years to do what he's about to do, or maybe even a broken controller and just a motivational speech. Only, Rug can do it in about a month. But, he's got the subscription to the highlight reel factory. I don't know how he does it, but it always seems like he's producing on the daily. So, gamers, before I roll this clip and just show one of these absurd shots, because he's got a 3-minute montage. We don't got time to show them all, but this one's really, really stellar. Is this the raw skill aging like fine wine, or are we witnessing nostalgia with the perfect timing and a sniper scope? So let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god, I just hit the craziest shot ever. I just hit the craziest two-piece ever. What? Oh my god, I didn't even know he was there.
Reminds me of a very popular clip, If You Know, You Know.
Yeah, right. I just love how he's like, I didn't even know he was there. It's like people are just doing that just in general. Is that how you get better? Just try. You never know what might stick. Yeah. But I love that Modern Warfare 2 trick shotting is making a comeback. Is it only okay in Modern Warfare 2, none of the other games? Like if someone else does it in in Warzone, or we all just, screaming foul? We need to have this guy exiled.
I guess it is a bit of
the
the rose-tinted glasses when you look back at a game like Modern Warfare 2, because people do want to relive the glory days of playing that game online,
Yeah, right. That's when things got really respected for those kind of trick shots. And then you get a meme like this, right? Oh my God, Mom, get the camera! So
yeah, that's the clip. There you go.
It's always funny because I wish I could do stuff like this. Instead, I always get gems every single time I hit my share button on my PS5, and it's always like maybe a trigger grenade that sticks on my head when I'm playing Arc Raiders. It's never something when I'm doing something cool to them. It's always when they're doing something to me. I clearly have a skill issue, HenricK. And then the last comment is, that was basic. And HenricK,
basic.
Do you think that was basic?
I don't know about that. No, I don't think it was basic necessarily, but maybe this person needs to come out with some clips. I would like to see you do some clips. Soul 95.
I know, right? What a hater.
Yeah, bring out the
Hater's gonna hate.
receipts.
And also, we have a gamer playing Skyrim just made the College of Winterhold look like amateurs because the way that they're using the alteration magic feels less like spellcasting and more like negotiating with gravity itself. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's just put this into context. How many hours have you put into Skyrim, HenricK?
Oh, definitely countless 100 hours.
That's what
Hours.
hundreds of hours into this game, and somehow I feel like we all somehow miss the fact that everyday objects might secretly have its own way around the map. And you're gonna know what we're talking about once we start to play this clip, because I'm telling you, how many hidden gameplay hacks have we all been ignoring, and why are we only noticing the fun ones now? And if you guys have seen this clip, let us know in the chat, but I am truly baffled by what you're about to see.
Well, this is just the Bethesda classic, honestly. Just the game is so broken that you can just do things like this. If you actually want to see how broken Skyrim is, go look up some Skyrim speedruns, and you'll see some crazy stuff.
Did you see that one guy that just did the whole speed run with the whole Resident Evil series? I think he did it within like 54 hours. It's like crazy how people can even do those kind of stuff. But like my dumbass has always been scaling the mountain when all I really needed was just a cabbage in my inventory. Like stupid me all these years. But that didn't stop people from commenting all around this viral clip, with the first one reading, "The Elder Scrolls fans do anything to avoid thinking that the trailer for the Elder Scrolls 6 came out over 7 years ago." 7 years ago, HenricK. That seems insane. It feels like it was like yesterday when we got the announcement that something glorious would be in the horizon. Instead, I don't even see a Kraken. Where did it go? I have no idea. I'm still looking for him. Crazy,
At this point,
right?
it's going to be, I want to say, even like 2 or 3 more years.
I know. Yeah.
Before there's even an announcement, honestly.
Well, especially with some of the shakeup that's been happening behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that could,
that's
true. Delay it even further. And then you also get this meme, Absolute Cinema. I mean, clearly Martin Scorsese has to be a fan. He clearly approves. Or wait, is that AI? Who did that? Don't do that to my boy. And then the last comment reads, "I love this game and all its little quirks, like how you can quick save, punch a merchant, and then reload the save to reset their money and inventory." Laughing out loud. Yes,
yeah, just so
all
broken.
these kind of style of games, right? We always use and abuse the quick save.
Yep.
But this is Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. We can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we're just going to go ahead and highlight our QR codes for anybody that hasn't hit the notification bell. What are you waiting for? This is the best way to be notified when we are live on air.
Can you see how it changed? Well, this is my QR code. So go ahead and scan that one, go to the channel, leave me some comments, and stay tuned, because more stuff is always on the horizon there.
Yeah, we always got these beautiful lower thirds during the show, too. So we see you in the chat. If you guys want to join along for the conversation, if there's something completely outlandish that my homeboy HenricK said, go ahead, clown on him, right, HenricK?
And conversely, if Chris says something that makes absolutely no sense, call him out, please.
Yeah, that would never happen, right? No, we want to see the energy in the chat, so go ahead and join along for the live show. But HenricK, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah, Chris, grab your blankets, because we might actually be a little scared from this one. I don't know about you.
Yeah, hide under the sheets.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Reanimal. In Reanimal, you play as a brother and sister as they navigate a nightmare come to life. Whether you're playing solo or co-op, you'll be going against tons of different monstrosities in this seemingly otherwise abandoned location. What are you doing there? Trying to find your missing friends, of course. All the while, you'll be running from a tall, inhuman yet human-looking man, slithering human skins, and much, much more. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
Okay, you're playing as kids in this game. Imagine having to run from these monsters as kids. Would you not be scared in that situation?
Absolutely, especially when you get into this whole like James and the Giant Peach kind of vibes. I mean, it's even more darker in the aesthetic. And I don't know. I mean, have you ever felt like you ever booted up a game and then just instantly thought, HenricK, like, what kind of fresh trauma did I just sign up for? Yeah, that's Reanimal. What do you say, HenricK?
Oh yeah, definitely. They are pulling out all the stops for these monster designs to make it so that they're grotesque. Maybe not grotesque in the sense of like, you know, your typical monster you might see in like a Resident Evil game.
Right, like no jump scare in a sense.
Like, yeah, but they are grotesque in the sense of like, you might have seen in the clips, these slithering human skins.
Oh my
Who
gosh,
came up
dude.
with that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real, right? I mean, from the disturbed minds behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2, Reanimal opens you with this like steering of a sputtering motorboat through this like suffocating fog and those red buoys blinking like they're guiding you straight into regret. And I just love how they use the camera angle in this game to like make it feel so tight, like the ocean itself is like judging your life choices in this game. And so, HenricK, like, are you the type of gamer who turns the lights off and puts the headset on full bass, or do you kind of like to keep the hallway lamp on, just like a responsible adult would?
Oh, I immersed myself in this game. You know,
I think you have to.
Sat there in the dark and played it, and it made it even better, probably, to just do that, because that is what the game is asking of you, is asking you to immerse yourself in this abandoned world that is just full of mystery and intrigue, and the game doesn't tell you anything, but it shows you everything. And
Yeah,
that's the important part.
I agree with you, HenricK, and I feel like, you know, with the gameplay in Reanimal, it's basically anxiety parkour, right? I mean, you're squeezing through pipes, you're going to be climbing ladders, you're going to be creeping through the tall grass. You have a lantern in hand, which basically is doing anything useful, I would say. And like every environment is a puzzle box that requires coordination, and sometimes you might be side by side, and then other times the game splits you up just to see if the panic improves communication, and trust me, it does not.
Yeah, and that's the thing you were saying. You can play this with other people. It is either a single player or a co-op experience. I play it single player, though I actually feel you probably get the most value out of it if you play a co-op with another friend to yell at and scream in terror as you're being chased by these monsters. Don't you think, Chris?
Well, especially, you know, considering how we have been, you know, we kind of made the joke at the beginning of the show, right? You know, there's so many twitchy multiplayer games out there, and sometimes we need something a little bit more refreshing. We all loved Split Fiction last year. We all need a little bit more of that kind of co-op, cinematic kind of style of play. And yeah, I feel like this game is encouraged to go in co-op, even though you can play it as a single player experience. And you know, HenricK, there are sequences where, you know, like you said, those bodies slide towards you, like with that score that vibrates like it's alive. And I don't know about you. I mean, I didn't like the whole idea with, let's say, you know, crawling under the benches to avoid those god-awful looking creatures that want to hurt you, in a sense. I mean, how did you like some of those moments, even with how the camera almost feels like it's giving you that like Crash Bandicoot energy, in a sense, when you have to like run like, towards yourself?
Yeah.
Might not be a cartoon boulder, but it's definitely some existential dread.
It is anxiety inducing for sure. And there's moments where I, you know, died because I couldn't think so quickly in the moment and got caught by one of those things. Fortunately, there isn't that big of a penalty for dying. You just start back maybe a little bit further behind, and then you go back to where you were. But that's the beauty of it. You know, you get to go back into those moments and feel that anxiety of being chased all over again.
Yeah, and you also even kind of touched on this already, but, you know, Reanimal tells its story the way your nightmares do, in a sense, right? They're out of order and aggressively vague. I mean, you won't get a clean exposition in this game. You'll get symbolism. Yeah, you're going to get those twisted child figures, monstrosities that feel like someone weaponized bioterrorism. But the developers, I truly believe, clearly wanted you to soak in the dread before understanding anything. And did that work for you, HenricK?
Yeah, especially since I did try to immerse myself as much as possible in the game. The atmosphere, they did a fantastic job of building. And that is a very important part to any horror media, whether it be video games, movies, whatever, is building the atmosphere in the proper way to deliver the scares properly as a result. And it just built upon those scares, really, because, yeah, you can look at the tall man or these slithering human skins, and actually, if you pull them out of context, they look kind of silly. But in the context,
yeah,
it actually ends up being kind of scary.
But the atmospheres is what really like draws you in. Yeah, you're going to be walking through the wilderness. Yeah, you're going to be on open water. There are even underwater sequences. There's war bunkers. You're going to be going into a laundry room. I mean, you're just like going, where is this taking me? I'm not quite sure where this is all going. But then adding in that like shared directed camera, I feel like is genius for this kind of style of game because it's maximizing on that claustrophobia, right? I mean, it's even got those open spaces that still feel tight because you're not fully in control of what you see. And the world, I would say, also feels massive in a sense. But, the framing keeps you boxed in. And I find that helps with these kind of style of horror games when, you limit the perspective. Wouldn't you say, HenricK?
Yeah, I mean, because if, say, this game was a over-the-shoulder third-person adventure where the camera's following you the whole time, yeah, it would lose probably a bit of the magic just because, like you were saying, the maps as they feel now feel pretty big, but if it was over the shoulder, it might feel a little bit smaller because of you being able to see and explore maybe more based on the fact that more is open to viewing. And also you probably would get a closer look at these monsters as well. Whereas with the way it's set up now, the camera's pretty far away. So you never really get a good look at these monstrosities. And that is a big element of building horror as well as keeping the intrigue of these horrors that you're facing to make sure that there's always that filling in the gaps with your own imagination. And your imagination is probably going to be more messed up than what the actual reality is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, Reanimal isn't the longest experience, I would say. I mean, it's pretty tightly crafted, excuse me. It's very atmospheric and built for that co-op experience, especially when you and your gaming homie are burned out from those sweaty, Twitch-heavy multiplayer games and need something different. I feel like this game is for you. But that said, I mean, once the credits roll, HenricK, it feels more like a one-and-done experience than a constant replay. And so my verdict for this game, as much as I had a fun time, the first playthrough, it's a pause. But what do you say, HenricK the Wreck?
Maybe because I played it single player, I actually feel this is going to be a repeat for me because I'll probably want to play it again with maybe one or two other people, separate times, to
that could
have
be the
them
draw.
experience it. Yeah, and see like, hey, I know what's happening, but then you get to see their reaction, be like, "Oh, whoa, this is happening. We're getting chased right now."
Right, you can slowly guide them through, the different sequences throughout the game. You kind of know what's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get to see your homie all going like, "What the hell? What are we doing? I'm just following you, man."
Yeah,
I guess those are all really, really good points. But we want to hear from you, the gamers, the players out there all around the world. Are you vibing with Reanimal? Do you feel like this is a fantastic game that deserves to be played over and over again? Or is this just a kind of a pause to play something new? Doesn't necessarily mean a pause means bad. Pause just means it is what it is. Let us know
good first
what's good.
Experience.
Exactly. But man, we got so much more here left on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah, let's load up our magazines, Chris, because we've got plenty of shots to fire this time around.
Let's get it. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. Microsoft just hit the reset button on its gaming division like somebody unplugged the console mid-extraction. Yeah, that's frustrating, right? Well, Phil Spencer is retiring, Sarah Bond is stepping away, and now Asha Sharma is moving from AI architect to the final boss of Xbox, while Matt Booty levels up to chief content officer, and gamers are staring at this lineup like it just patched in a surprise genre swap. Were you caught off guard by this news, HenricK?
Yeah, it did come out of nowhere, it felt like. I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
there's been that whole boom in the AI industry at this point, but I don't think people expected all of a sudden for them to change the leadership at Xbox.
Well, you know, being there for what, over 30 plus years working for Microsoft, taking on the head of Xbox back in what, 2014, it was quite the incredible ride. I mean, obviously he brought in more acquisitions, you know, for Microsoft with, you know, the Activision Blizzard move, but clearly something isn't quite adding up. And so the real question before we dive into the comment section is, are we watching the birth of a bold new era, or did the AI algorithm just grab the controller from all of us gamers? Is this the future that we are about to see? Let's go ahead and dive on in. Asha Sharma, the new head of Xbox, is an AI executive with no background in gaming. And so when you hear this, does that startle you in a sense, HenricK?
It doesn't inspire confidence, I will say.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. But do you also feel like with Microsoft's leadership that they felt like they needed to distance themselves away from other industry gaming leaders and feel like a fresh new blood who doesn't have to necessarily have that all get convoluted in her head? She could just basically kind of give it to you straight because it's fresh blood.
I mean, I've always viewed leadership roles in any industry, not just gaming, where if you are a leader, you have to understand what you're leading for. And that means you have to, in this case, actually understand the gaming industry. She might understand the business side, which probably these executives value more than anything. But I would actually want the leader of Xbox to understand gaming and why people game and feel for the gamers in some respect and relate to them. And at least from a first glance, all that we've heard of her feels like she doesn't know the gamers, and that is concerning.
Yeah, that's what brought in more comments around new reporting on Xbox leadership changes. Xbox Anywhere was Sarah Bond's plan. This is an Xbox ad was her idea and offended many internally, writing on the wall for Sarah and Phil to leave. People internally relieved that Sarah Bond is gone. So yeah, like supposedly people didn't like the idea that they were trying to ditch the hardware in a sense, right? I mean, they did have to go through a bit of a hiccup trying to promote a 5-year-old console and then be like, hey, $100 price increase. And you're like, wait, what are we doing? And then you hear rumors that Phil Spencer wanted to create his own handheld Xbox, which they shut that down. And then that's why we got the Rogue Ally, you know, to be that crossover in a sense. And so when you start to hear all that kind of stuff, and then this is an Xbox, and then ditching that, it almost kind of feels like Microsoft is moving away from hardware. Do you get that same kind of vibe?
No, 100% I do get that feeling. I mean, I'm pretty sure if anyone has been following Xbox's whole thing for this last generation, it really does feel like the hardware side of Xbox is dying out, and it might not even last a generation anymore. Might not even have another Xbox come out, because now not only do we have shakeup in leadership, but we also have the current hardware shortage, which is going to make it even harder of a sell.
Right. And doesn't it also feel like the console war thing is over in a sense, and we're now entering a new era where it's the IP war? And what I mean is, it's like everybody's trying to buy out every studio so then they can build up their catalog. get rid of the hardware and just start pushing studios to start making games so they could acquire that. It almost feels that way. But let's keep it rolling because yeah, go ahead, HenricK.
Counterpoint with that. I don't think that the wars will be ever over until there's a lack of exclusivity across all platforms, and that's meaning that every game is available on every platform. As long as there's exclusives, people will always prefer one platform over the other.
That is so interesting that you're saying that, because look at this comment that was directed at the new head of Xbox, and that is, "Hi, Asha. As the new Xbox CEO, I hope that you understand how important exclusive games are and how games like Halo, Forza, Gears, Fable created an identity for Xbox and its players, becoming a key point for Xbox's success. Xbox games must be only on Xbox," with the follow-up comment from the new CEO herself tweeting, "Hear you." But do we really want to go back to all this kind of exclusive thing? I mean, yeah, they got Marvel's Wolverine. People are excited. September's coming around, only on PS5. But I guess, is it only okay to have this kind of exclusive route if it's, I guess, on their console for 2 years and then finally comes to the PC? Do gamers really want that?
I would love a world where there's no exclusive games on hardware and anyone can just choose whatever they want. But at the same time, I understand that that is a big reason why a lot of these consoles still get sales, is because, you know, if you're looking to play Nintendo games, you're going to obviously go play that on a Switch, you know?
Yeah.
And to do that, you got to go buy one. They have no other way of delivering that content to you. Whereas then same thing with some of the PlayStation games, people give them shit for not having exclusives, but the exclusives they have are very coveted by them. And as a result of that, some people do go out and buy PS5s specifically to play those exclusives.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's like if they do go into, you know, the exclusive route all over again, and then they start to limit down potentially on hardware and producing consoles, they're basically going to try to bank on everybody to have their smart TVs ready. You know what I mean? Have the best kind of PC rig, because you're going to be trying to subscribe to their Xbox Game Pass, and they're going to be pushing more and more everyday day one releases. It's no different than what Sony has been practicing over the last couple years as well. And then you also get comments like this with the meme that says her LinkedIn is nothing but post about AI. And, you know, people kind of feel like, is that where the industry is going, HenricK? And I know everyone's...
in her defense, it does make a little bit of sense considering her position as the leader of Core AI. She needs to make sure that she lets people know on LinkedIn that thing. And, you know, LinkedIn's that whole platform where it's just honestly kind of like business and networking circle jerk in a sense, where you're just constantly showing off to people and they're showing off to you. But at the same time, like I said earlier, it does not inspire confidence of the leadership for Xbox.
But let's strip away the whole AI resume for a second and just simply put it like this way. Is it time to blow up the Xbox leadership and just start fresh? Was this the right move by Microsoft?
They might feel it's the right move. I think until this new leadership proves that they are on the side of gamers, many are going to be upset about it. And I'm not really upset about it because we haven't seen anything done by them just yet. But if they make the wrong moves, you know, there's some words I will be willing to say about Microsoft at that point, about their leadership choices.
Yeah, watch them follow the same leadership as Nintendo and start making every game worth $80. And we're like, oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought AI was supposed to make everything easier and make the development cost a lot cheaper for all of us gamers.
Yeah,
Instead,
exactly.
we're all taking the burden of the cost as us consumers, us gamers. Well, it is interesting know that even when, you know, Phil Spencer took charge of Xbox back in 2014, you know, running the company's gaming studio, he nearly tripled Microsoft's gaming business, in part through acquisitions like, you know, Activision Blizzard. I know that was a bit controversial even back then, but then even taking on the Minecraft developer as well. And so that's why I keep saying that I feel in a way we're going towards that IP war. Everybody wants to acquire everything. It's no different than what we're seeing in Tinseltown, Hollywood, when it comes to all these film studios being acquired by the streaming services, and no wonder Paramount wants to get another deal done to try to take that all back, and everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a thought on that. But when too many people have too much baggage, is that actually good for all of us gamers, Henrik?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a good point, and that is part of why I am hoping that they'll make some good choices with the new leadership that is pro-consumer and pro-gamer. But as it stands right now, they haven't really done anything yet. I mean, it just happened. So,
well, especially when they're had to have all those licensed IP, not newer games, but older games, and they're basically going to be shopping them around to all different kind of places. Hey, Amazon Luna, hey, you want to take on this game for a little bit? Oh yeah, it's like it's no different when you go on Netflix and it's like, hey, you better watch that Happy Gilmore before it drops at the end of the month. You know what I mean? It's like almost it feels like that's where we're going, you know, in the sense of cloud gaming. But then again, we want to hear from you, the gamers. I mean, was this the shakeup long overdue, regardless of who stepped in? And should more gamers be concerned about Microsoft, you know, moving forward with this kind of gaming initiative? Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK the Wreck, it's not just Microsoft shocking gamers with their recent moves. Break it down.
yeah, Sony just rug pulled Blue Point Games, the studio that could take your childhood, polish it into a mirror shine, and hand it back to you looking like it just left a luxury spa.
Yeah, you
and I
ain't
know
lying.
how that feels. I was just in Japan. Oh man, those spas, they feel amazing.
So you walked in as an 8-bit polygon and you became a whole freshman. I got you. I see what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, you know it. But anyways, these are the same magicians behind the remakes of Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. And now they join Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios on the corporate goodbye tour, which is wild, considering that Blue Point was trusted with some of these sacred relics like Metal Gear Solid and God of War, you know, two big IPs that Sony is really known for, I would say.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Absolutely,
gamers, if the remake masters aren't safe, what exactly is the Blue Point for PlayStation right now?
Yeah, that's an excellent point, HenricK. And yes, that got gamers really kind of wondering what the hell's going to happen. And you got a meme like this. How it feels after the Blue Point news. Oops, all live service games. Is that where Sony is heading? Is that where you really think that? You think that's where Sony wants to go?
I do think that,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. I think that's going to be very problematic for them. It's almost like they're really banking on Wolverine's success, but it's like, what is there after that to get excited about? Especially when, you know, it comes to PlayStation. You know, they really wanted to get the PlayStation 6 out. You know, we reported last week that they're thinking about pushing that back. And so do they have enough, you know, games, enough arsenal to keep people excited to want to return to that console? Something to ponder on.
Probably
you know?
not that much people can really think of. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also like, you know, you see comments like this. They'll go, we'll miss you, Blue Point Games. And yeah, you just kind of see a lot of these kind of style games. I mean, you look and you see Uncharted. I mean, everybody loves Uncharted. But then that was also a game that was like at the time, like, did that really need a remake? You know? And so you kind of just wonder.
Fell into the trap that The Last of Us ended up having, where it was like, didn't the game come out like 2 years ago? Why are we doing a remaster already?
Yeah, exactly. And that's an excellent point, HenricK, because that's been something that Sony's been getting clowned on for the longest time. And it's almost like as if they don't want to be recognized in this new era of being only the studio that's only doing remakes and remasters. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like they're having an identity crisis at this moment. And, you know, because, you know, they felt like Blue Point Games couldn't do the trilogy for God of War. Santa Monica Studios taking that on. Obviously, there's rumors that they're going to come up with a whole new combat system. Like, what are you talking about, new combat system? It has to be exactly like how Dante Inferno is, okay? It has to be that kind of style of gameplay. So when they say these kind of switch-ups, I get a little nervous. And that's why you just have to give a lot of credit to a lot of those awesome developers, you know, employees that work for Blue Point Games, because it's sad. It's always horrible when you see people lose their jobs. But then you also get, you know, comments like this, you know, Today, PlayStation showed the gaming world, including all independent studios, that you should never agree to be acquired by Sony. Sony didn't just fumble the bag today for their future, as well as no self-respecting studio would ever consider joining their PlayStation team now. And, you know, when you see this kind of stuff, it reminds me about what's happening even in the music industry in a sense. Like, there's a group called Hypnosis Songs Fund for any gamers that don't follow the love of the music industry. They're basically buying music catalogs. They're aiming to treat songs as if it's like an asset class, providing reliable income from royalties. And when I see that happen in the music industry, that's where I feel the industry in the gaming is going. And that, in a sense, kind of worries me, because are we going to get less and less AAA games per year? Because we're starting, as we've been reporting over the last couple of seasons, HenricK, the balloon cost of AAA games, or quadruple A games, however Ubisoft wants to call it. You know what I mean? It's like, do you see this being the new frontier?
Yeah, it isn't sustainable for most studios to spend so much money at the point where they're spending like 200 million or above even on just the marketing, even sometimes for a game. So this actually is a good chance for indie games to shine, because indie games have much less of a budget need. Sometimes because, you know, the game itself is not as polished, but that's the charm of it. That they're.
I think that's a good point.
You know?
There's more room for smaller studios to outclass some of these AAA studios, and yeah, we saw that with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, for example.
Yeah, and I would say Clair Obscur, yeah, they had a lot of funding. So I would more say that they're like a AA experience, but that's still not AAA. So AA experiences or anything below that, it is their time to chip in and say, hey, we have a great product here. We're charging you less than the AAA games most of the time, and why not try it?
Yeah. And it just makes you really kind of wonder what the hell is even going on, right? I mean, is like Sony trying to chase lightning in a bottle with these live services like you were saying? Or are they just like going to continue to go studio shopping like it's a clearance sale on first-party IP? That is...
Well, definitely I would say their biggest gamble is going to be the live service thing. And I get it, because if they have even one hit live service game that lasts for a while, they're going to make back all the money that they've lost in terms of like getting those microtransactions from the live service game. But at the same time, that does mean that they're going to have some games come out that are live service games, and they're not going to do too well, or they're going to be kind of just what people call mid.
Yeah.
You know, you have experiences like what happened with Concord, where the game comes out, everyone just does not like it, and they shut down so quickly because of that. Yeah. And that is just a shame, really, because you have these really talented professionals working on these games, and they just release a game that goes nowhere, really, because they don't have the right guidance behind them.
And that's where we want to leave it to you, the gamers. I mean, is this PlayStation tightening its creative focus in a sense, or are we just like watching them trade prestige single player legacy for a roulette wheel of live services and studio shopping sprees? Like, let us know what's good. But let's shift some gears here, because turns out rank mode now comes with a wanted poster, because a site called INT List, I don't know what the hell that even means, it was co-founded by
Int List.
Yeah, like what the hell is even going on? I mean, as you can clearly see here, it is co-founded by former pro Echo Rivals. He lets you slap cash bounties on griefers and throwers like it's the Wild West with Wi-Fi. And is it supposed to be called Int List or INT List? Like, I don't even understand what that even means, HenricK.
It's supposed to be Int List, as in almost a play on the word enlist, or also a play on the word int or inting, which is slang in gaming terms, as you are intentionally feeding. He's inting. He's intentionally feeding.
Okay, I was starting to think this is like one of the dumbest like non-profit charitable kind of website name. In a sense, I was like, what the hell is even going on? But as you can clearly see with the image on screen, you get paid to throw, okay? And the founders point the finger at NetEase for creating the chaos, and the system is simple. Accept the bounty, capture the clip, submit the evidence, collect the payout, which means your bad teammate might literally have a prize tag floating over their gamer tag. And so, gamers, before we dive into the comments, have ranked matches really become so lawless that we need digital freebooters? Or did we just monetize being too salty? And so that's where we're going to dive right on into the comments. And the first one reads, worst part of hero shooters is always the players. There's just something about those games that bring out the worst in people in a way not even Call of Duty does. With the follow-up comment that reads, you can get carried pretty easily when it's a deathmatch because they only feed so much, but one person griefing a team objective game means at least 4 on 5 the entire time. Pretty much instant game over, and they can spend the whole match making the experience worse as well. And I know you were ready to just jump on in.
Well, I just had an experience over the weekend with one of my buddies where we were trying to play ranked Marvel Rivals. We spent, I want to say, 4 hours playing, and we ended up right back where we started in terms of the rankings, simply because, you know, I'll be the first to admit, we are not carrying people, because we're not that good at the game, okay? But at the same time, it doesn't help when you have people in your match that are going 0 and 10 on some characters. And it's like, dude, what are you even doing?
But there's so
Like,
many characters
switch
in
off
that
the
game. Maybe they're
character,
just
man.
trying to do something new. Maybe they're not totally trying to tank the whole game. They're just, maybe they shouldn't try out characters in rank mode. I get it. It's no different when you're playing Fortnite.
Or
it's
just
like,
communicate.
why did you jump into rank on squad?
Say, hey guys, I'm not doing too hot on Magneto. Could I get someone to swap with me?
But we just saw that
People
drama
will
like a
listen.
couple weeks back. Remember when they had that Marvel Rivals tournament and the one person was like, hey, listen, look, like the whole ping and the lag is happening. Like, I think you need to switch characters. And they thought he was being toxic. If they heard about this website 3 weeks ago, they probably would have put a bounty on him. I mean, it's
Probably,
crazy.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
then again, you know, you get League of Legends players don't need a website. They just do this on their own. This is their hobby.
And they have
So-
voice chat coming to that. Somehow that's going to go... I'm not sure even how that's going to go. It's going to go so poorly because people are just going to be yelling slurs at each other. You know.
Oh,
that
no, you
game
think
is
it's going to be the next Call of Duty
epitome of
2009
toxicity.
lobbies? Call of Duty 2009 lobbies all over again?
Yeah, that's
Hero
just
shooters do-
what League is known for.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And then, you know, the INT list tweeted, Marvel Rivals won't fix engagement-oriented matchmaking. They won't punish griefers. They won't protect your ranked game. So we did. INT list exists because the developers left a gap in the community, filled it. Remove EOMM and actually ban throwers, will gladly shut down. Until then, we're not going anywhere. And so it's like, what do they do? Do they take the route that, like, Marathon is pushing, where there's like, you're not going to ruin our extraction shooter. You're not going to threaten this Bungie studio from being shut down forever. We will permagon you from existence. Is that the right way to handle this instead of paying random guys in this like weird like dark web kind of you know,
Yeah,
like,
it is a little shady, this whole website, I will admit.
yeah, I mean it's only going to expand to like streamers and be like, hey, can you go ahead and troll the chat? I will pay you this amount of money if you can bring enough force with you. I don't know, it's crazy. But then you get comments like this. It's because it's a team-based game. In Call of Duty, you don't care for anyone but for yourself. You just shut your brain off and run and gun. At least that's how I and everyone I knew played it back in the days when it was still good. That's kind of a fair point, right? I mean, when you get kind of stuck in these games, you know, it's like I was, you know, saying with like Fortnite, you know, you jump into like a squad and it's like in ranked, for example, not just casual play, ranked, and then they drop like 3 locations south where everybody else is dropping with your crew. You're like, why? Why? Get this guy out of here. Like, he's completely screwing my whole skill-based matchmaking. And so, HenricK, is competitive play truly that cursed right now, or do we just like turn our frustrations into a side hustle?
Yeah, competitive play, especially right now, I guess you have to go into it with the expectation that you're going to come across some toxic players. You know, I think the only game that I play even remotely competitively right now is, ironically enough, Deadlock, which is not even out yet. It's
Yeah, I
still an
know. That's been
alpha.
like the longest delay.
So, and even, but even in that game, you come across people that are just like, dude, why didn't you go do that? Dude, you're trash. And it's like, dude, we're all just trying to play the game, man. Just chill out.
Yeah, and I think that's like kind of the problem with these kind of like bounty hunter websites, because it's like, what is it actually going to be used for? Are these people like, is it really going to target like the less than 3% of Twitch streamers or something like that? Or
Probably.
I don't necessarily know how that works.
I mean, think about it. When you look at the list of who's on the bounty, you got to compare that to what games you get into and the player lists on there. So you probably are going to be seeing a lot of people trying to stream snipe and fulfill their bounties on this, you know.
But I mean, if I was a young adolescent, I feel like I would want to try this, though. I'm not going to lie. I mean, come on, 20, 25, 40 bucks to be a bounty hunter. I mean, this sounds pretty freaking dope. I mean, what do I have to lose? It has nothing to do with me unless they start to catch on to this.
A little bit of your time, play some games.
Unless, like, we use Bungie as an example. What if Bungie, like, follows this website and they go, we know every gamer tag that submitted a bounty, and if you submit a bounty, you're already gone before you even get to load up the game. And thank you for your $40. No refund. Is that where we're going? I don't know. But tell us, gamers, is ranked really such a circus that we need to hire these digital bounty hunters, or do we just like turn Tilt into a side hustle? Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK the Wreck, what's got gamers stuck in the past? Break it down.
Well, Reddit lit the nostalgia bonfire again, asking gamers what ancient cartridges and dusty discs still get playtime in an era where pores on your face have ray tracing.
Yeah, I know, right? No GoldenEye.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we've got AAA characters flexing photorealism, yet somehow these pixelated fossils refuse to retire like they've got a lifetime contract with our thumbs.
You ain't lying.
So, gamers, the question is, what keeps us reinstalling these old legends? Or is it pure gameplay alchemy? Or are we just chasing the feeling we had before patch notes became required reading? Because there are some games I could think of.
Right? And so let's dive right on in. First game that led the charge was chess. Like, really, I guess that is an appropriate. I guess that's an appropriate answer, but like, is this what we're talking about by video games? Come on, guys. Like, really, you can say checkers. You know what I mean? Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. I would say, no, we're not doing that. I think there's better options out here. Let's see what the next one is. Age of Empires 2. It still feels great, and it never gets old. You know, I haven't jumped onto this in the longest time, but now that I'm looking at this image on screen, I miss the glory days. Wow. Wasn't that fantastic? And then you start seeing stuff like this, HenricK, and then you're hearing about all these rumors circulating that they want to re-gear StarCraft, for example. And I used to love these kind of style of games like StarCraft, and now they want to change it to be a first-person shooter. Is that a mistake? Because clearly people like this nostalgia bonfire that you referenced. Does this game still hold up?
Especially with Age of Empires 2, they actually just came out with a DLC. So, game that old somehow got a DLC.
Oh, crap. I did not even know that. I just remember back in the day when it was like, you know, you used to have those like massive discs or cassettes or, you know what I mean, or disc holder, whatever. Someone's going to be judging me in the chat. They're like, what the hell did he just say? What is he talking about? You know, but yeah, they were massive. They were thick. They had multiple layers to those games. But then, yes, I mean, clearly Super Mario World sometimes. I think a lot of people always revisit Super Mario all the time. That's never going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah. That's just, people are always going to be speedrunning that at the very least, if not going back to just play it for the nostalgia of it.
And it is always kind of funny to see like the parents, you know, of us millennials like show their kids what they used to play, and they go, "Damn, this was really, really hard." I go, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, games used to be really hard just as a baseline.
They required skill. All right. And then Red Alert 2. I actually never played this game, but this looks pretty badass. I mean, if we're talking like Age of the Empire, I'm assuming it's that kind of it's that kind of style of, you know, I'm gonna get your ass in the game. And then Zelda: A Link to the Past, just played last week. yeah, this is a good game. I haven't played that one in forever, but it is a great choice. Really, really good choice.
I remember I when I still had a Game Boy that I would play regularly, I had A Link to the Past on a Game Boy cartridge.
Right.
And yeah, that was always a great choice for like long road trips, things like that.
I know it's like Nintendo has explored, certain mobile games on the phones over the years, but it's like if they really wanted to, they should bring Zelda to the mobile phones. I mean, that would get people really excited, especially if they're going to have promoting this movie, which I'm like, I won't judge until it drops, but I'm kind of am side-eyeing it in a sense. I'm a little nervous, and so maybe this might kind of create that hype that they might want with their studio and etc. And then, last, I still pop in good old Chrono Trigger in my trusted Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
That is also a great choice, because that is just like the perfect RPG.
Yeah, absolutely. And HenricK, is this proof that gameplay is eternal, or are we just like romantically clinging to the muscle memory of our childhoods?
You know what? There are just some games out there that have been around for the longest time that hit differently compared to some of the newer games that are coming out. And some of it is nostalgia, I will admit, but some of it also is that just games haven't replicated the same kind of gameplay experience. And that's why my choice for this actually is going to be Diablo 2.
Oh, and yeah. And
they did just come out with an expansion also, just like Age of Empires 2.
That was a wild announcement.
It was, yeah. It was very interesting to see a game from my childhood get an announcement like that they are coming out with a DLC. But when I go back and play Diablo 2, yeah, there isn't as much of an end game compared to some other games in the same genre, but there's just a certain magic about how they developed that game to have certain friction points that end up actually being what makes it a fun time. Because, you can go play Diablo 3 or Diablo 4, and the gameplay is going to be super smooth. By the end of the game, the end acts, you're going to be blasting every mob that you come across. But in Diablo 2, that doesn't happen until the very end, when you're like level 80 and above, really. And that's just something you can't really replicate in the ARPG genre nowadays, I feel like.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, it gets me thinking as you're even talking right now about this whole, like, what's the game that we keep playing that's, like, so freaking old, and, like, why? Like, why do we keep doing it? One that I can think of right on the top of my cranium is we're always skipping over Fallout 76 and we're jumping straight into New Vegas or, Fallout 3. Yeah, people like Fallout 4. Some people, I guess, apparently, I mean, there were reports that Todd Howard, and including myself, I'm with Todd, I'm like, people hated that game? I wasn't aware of all that. That was a little bit shocking. But then there's another game that I could think of that always feels fun every once in a while that you just go, oh, yeah, you know what? I might kind of jump on for an hour. That's Roller Coaster Tycoon. I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon really brings me back to my young adolescent days. I used to always love, picking up those unruly customers or attendees at my park and, just kind of throw them in the lake
Were
for a
you
nice little...
Were you the person who would make Death Trap roller coasters?
Always, all the time. Sometimes there were certain theme parks that I just couldn't win, and you put all that commitment into it, and you're running out of months to be able to meet your goal. It's sabotage time. You're going to send them off the roller coaster. You're going to drop them in the water. You're going to leave the trash everywhere on the ground. You're going to get everybody upset, because if you're upsetting me, I'm upsetting you. I'm going to take it personal, okay? You damn NPC. But then again, tell us, gamers, if graphics keep evolving but you're still booting up decades-old classics, what are modern games missing that those blocky legends nailed? Let us know what's good. But man, this has been such a fantastic show, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we just want to make sure that everybody that's tuning in, go ahead, scan the QR code, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Meta. Come on now, let's get it.
Yeah, you see this glorious QR code right here? Don't just stare at it. Scan it. Come on. Go to my YouTube channel, where there's so many videos and so many more coming, so you won't want to miss out.
Yeah, we know how many selfies you got on your phone. Come on, man. You could take the time to turn that camera around and scan that QR code. What you doing? But, man, this has been such a great time, and we hope that you, the gamers, have a great rest of the week, and we will see you soon, fam. Peace.
See ya.